I am back for this read with me. 5 days and I only got a peck on the cheek. Apparently, I was too boring for him. I could have saved him 5 days if he'd just asked me if I was an exciting person from the start. We should Facebook stalk Lucy's friends, I suggested, and also maybe check to see if Caleb has found me on there yet. If he even bothers to look up at me, he wouldn't be the first guy to say something and go through. You know, Lucy, I turned to the owner I turned to the owner of the voice. A guy, probably our age, glares at us. From the dark look in his eyes, I think it's safe to assume he heard every word I just said. So now, not only are we accusing people of being terrible friends, but we're also advertising the fact that we're indulging in a little online stalking. Fantastic. Hazel takes a small step back. Not exactly. We heard about her taking off, but we didn't know her. He watches me for like an hour. Well, it certainly feels like an hour. Why are you questioning Lucy's friends? I shrug. I just bumped into them. You here to gossip? She's not just another runaway and number. She's my friend. This is going swimmingly. We don't think she's just another runaway. It's weird that people keep disappearing. No one else seems to be all that concerned. He folds his arms and looks at me the way Hazel was looking at those girls. He can't bring it. He can bring it. I'm not intimidated. Straightening my spine, I gain an inch and stand almost as tall as him. Do you think Lucy ran away? His left eye twitches. No, I don't. But she obviously wanted out of here more than she wanted me. Oh, she was more than a friend to him. He's hurting. Of all the people who could have overheard us talking about Lucy, it had to be him. A traitor of a friend seems to have lost her voice. How convenient. I'm sorry your friend isn't here, I say. My words are sincere. I am so sorry. Shaking his head, he turns on his heel and walks off like he doesn't want to waste another second on us. Well, I say, turning to Hazel, is there anyone else here you feel like insulting, or can we leave? We can leave. In unison, we turn and head up the path. Thanks for the backup up there, I say, sarcastically tossing my Coke into a recycling bin. Hazel laughs. You seem to have things under control. I didn't feel like you needed backup. I glanced over my shoulder to take one look at the group at the lake. Around the back of it is the river that runs through town. Lucy's boyfriend stares at us with folded arms and a deep frown. Whatever. What do you think is going to happen if we find her and the others? Hazel asks. They might not want to be found. I don't know, but I can't imagine it's easy for people who love them to not know where they are and if they're okay. Besides, what are the chances of us actually finding them? Because I'm thinking it's an absolute zero. We're not trying to solve crimes. We're looking into the weirdness of all the runaways. And it still beats sitting home all summer, remember? As we walk, I twirl the cotton friendship bracelet on my wrist. Hazel and I made each other one when we were 10. Mine is black and purple, and it's a basic braid with black beads at each end where the knot is. Hazel's is black and pink. Neither of us like purple or pink anymore, but we both keep them on. We reach the end of the path, and a car pulls up beside us. The dark window slides down. Caleb, I say, my heart doing a flip beside him. It's his best friend, Owen, who lifts his hand. I say, turning to Hazel, whose mouth is practically sitting on the road. Maybe I should have mentioned meeting Caleb to her after all. She's going to have a lot to say when we get back to my house. Caleb laughs, both of you. We have our bikes, I start to explain, looking back. I know, but more rain is in the forecast anytime. You can get your bikes tomorrow. Hazel's mouth snaps shut. She nudges me. Yeah, we can get our bikes tomorrow, Piper. Okay, I concede. I don't really want to get soaked anyway. Hazel walks around to the other side of the car. I open the back door and get in. Thanks, Caleb. He looks at me in the rearview mirror and smiles anytime. Hazel shut the door. Caleb drops his eyes and pulls onto the road. I watch him in the mirror, though he's now focused on the road. His eyes turn hollow and his smile falls. He presses something on his door, and the car door is locked. Lock the doors for safety. My mom does that. No one is going to carjack us because our car is old and there is never anything valuable inside, but she insists on having the doors locked at all times. He's not your mom. Hazel either hasn't noticed or she's not worried. Her eyes split between Caleb and Owen like she's not sure which of them to crush on more. I swallow. He hasn't asked us, either of us, where we live. So my house is on Park Lane, I say, tugging at the sleeve of my top. Owen looks over his shoulder. We're going somewhere else first. Yeah, where? Hazel's asked. She sounds unconcerned and intrigued. Why? Did you hear me? I said intrigued. Why isn't she concerned? Don't worry, you're going to love it. He grins. Where are my manners? I'm Owen. Caleb told me about meeting you, Piper, but he didn't mention your friend. He told Owen about meeting me. Is that good or bad? I'm Hazel. Nice to meet you, Owen. She's all smiles and long, lingering looks. So I guess Owen is the one she likes. I should be relieved, but I'm not sure how I feel about Caleb at the moment. I don't know where he's taking us, and he's not exactly forthcoming with the information. You look alarmed, Caleb says. I glance up and my heart jumps. He's watching me in the mirror again. Gone in the dark. Gone is the dark expression from before. Was I reading too much into it? Maybe I have watched. Can't do that if we never hang out. Was it the lock? It's a habit I picked up from my mom. He presses the button again and the car unlocks. My stomach settles and I breathe. Also, I feel a bit stupid now, too. Sorry, I mutter. My mom does the same. No need to apologize. I didn't think how it would look to you. Owen watches our exchange with curiosity. Does Caleb not talk to girls much? That seems incredibly unlikely with his movie star good looks, charm, and charisma. I would have thought he had girls falling all over themselves, eager to spend time with him. I'm too young for him, and my ex will attest to the fact that I'm not very exciting. Caleb could have his pick of girls, so why choose me? Happen. Yeah. Some people want something that they can't have purely because they can't have it. Okay, there's a chance that they cross brow, and I want to whack her. We both know I'll never be done being an idiot. My mouth engages before my brain too often for that. Caleb chuckles and shakes hands. She turns her attention back to Owen, who is still craning his neck to see into the back of the car. Where is this place we're going? Owen's toothy grin widens. A place that isn't full of high schoolers. We're high schoolers, I say, folding my arms. Yes, well, Caleb seems to have made an exception for you, so dirt road. I've never been to. It's just open fields and overgrown woods. Are we allowed down here? I ask, adrenaline starting to tell me this is going to be exciting. I've gone from barely leaving my or Hazel's house to trespassing in the space of 24 hours. Owen laughs. Hazel's family owns it, so I would think so. Hazel's eyes meet mine, and her expression is me marry him. She's wears nice clothes, but I didn't realize he owned a lot of land. Sure, Caleb is good looking. Duh, knowing that he might like me back is making my heart leap with excitement and nerves. But I'm certainly not thinking about marrying him just because he's rich. Relaxing into the seat, I look out the window. We're surrounded by acres and acres of corn just outside of town until it turns into forest. I watch the clock on the dashboard. There's plenty of time until I need to be home. My parents are just happy I'm getting out. But I don't know how far I'm going and how long Caleb intends to stay here. Where do you want to hang out then? You know, to avoid high schoolers. I asked Owen, earning a chuckle from Caleb. There's a place. They stop a little. He turns to Caleb. I feel like we're committing some sort of sin bringing them here. I roll my eyes. You'll get over it, buddy, Caleb replies flatly. He turns around. No offense. We just have rules. This should be good. And what rules are they? No outsiders. Hazel and I are outsiders. Caleb's breaking the rules, not me. Caleb keeps his eyes on the bumpy road and shrugs. Oh, was right. You actually like her. Can you shut up now, Owen? Caleb growls. I press our lips together because I feel the strength of a smile fighting to come through. We drive for a few more minutes of silence before pulling up at a decent-sized single-story building made of brick and metal siding. It's one level, but easily bigger than my house. You built this? I asked. Caleb cuts to the engine. No, it's been here for years. We renovated the house. We renovated the inside a while ago, so we'd have somewhere to go. In case you haven't noticed, there isn't a lot to do around here. Oh, I've noticed. Her eyes flickering back to Owen every few seconds. You brought me to the place you renovated so you wouldn't get bored, I asked. Caleb takes a step closer to me, keeps a respectful distance. It was this or return to petty crime. Good choice. Do you want to come inside? Laughing, I reply. You didn't give me the option to come here, but you're asking if I want to go in. Resting his arm on the car casually, he reaches for my hand. You could have told me to take you straight home at any point, and I would have. I'm kidding, and yes, I do want to go inside. His Hollywood smile makes my stomach flutter. You're going to love it here. Now we're entering in chapter 4. I glance up at the building. It's not much to look at from the outside. It's been neglected. There are dents in the metal siding, and it looks like something has cut into it. An axe, maybe? I don't know. The sun dips below the roof, and the sky darkens around us. My arms prickle with the chill from the breeze. Caleb doesn't drop my hand, so I don't bother pulling away. Owen and Hazel are a little ahead of us, just going through the door. When do you have to be home? He asks as we walk toward the door. 10. I suddenly feel very childish for having a curfew. I wonder if I could talk to my parents about staying out later since school is over for the summer. Though if I do, they'll start asking questions. And if they find out I'm talking to a boy and getting into a car with him to go hang out somewhere, they will never let me leave the house again. He stops walking and nods, his blue eyes dancing in amusement. I'll be sure to have you back every night by 10. Every night? You look lost for words, he says, turning his body so we're face to face. That pretty much sums it up. Why do you think I can't care about you? Because you don't know me, because I'm too young for you. He tilts his head. You can't control a feeling, Piper. All around the world, people try to hide who they really are and what they really want. I'll never understand it. Sure, I'm not going to try anything with you, but that doesn't mean I don't want to. So he's honest. It's refreshing. I agree with that. So many people around here hide how they really feel until all they can do is run away. Exactly. He blows out of breath of relief, as if he's glad he's finally found someone who agrees with him. If people were a little more honest with themselves, you don't seem to struggle there. I used to, then I gave into it, and wow. I bite my lip to stop from asking what he gave into and started doing. But that feels a little intrusive. Also, it's gross. I'm going to regret asking. Some things are better left unsaid. Shall we follow the others? He asked, tugging my hand. So I step closer to him, dipping my chin. I reply, let's do it. We walk through the door and my mouth falls open. It's huge. It's one large room with sofas, a massive TV, arcade games, a pool table, and a bar. This is amazing. No wonder why you don't hang out at the lake. I don't really like large groups of people. Smirking at him, I add, or outsiders. Very funny. Okay, phone's on the side table, he instructs, taking his phone out of his pocket and setting it down, indicating for us to do the same. Why? He's a laugh. Owen puts his on the table too. Everyone is glued to social media. And here, we like to talk. It's more fun that way. House rules. She shrugs and puts her phone beside theirs. I hesitate. My phone doesn't often leave my hand or my pocket. This isn't school, Piper. Caleb chuckles. It hasn't been confiscated. You don't have to turn it off. Leave it there until the end of class. If you get a call, you can come and pick it up. Hazel widens her eyes at me, as if to say, don't embarrass me again. Come on, Pipes, and we can challenge you guys to a game of pool. Neither of us can play pool, but I'm being silly. Okay, I slide my phone from my pocket and place it on the table. Caleb smiles. Now, do you want to see the rest before we kick their asses at pool? The rest, I ask. You didn't notice the building is significantly bigger than this room? Well, I did, but I figured you just renovated this part. Against the back wall are 2 doors with keypad security locks. What do you have in there? Which door do you want to go through? Where does the one on the right lead? To more rooms. That's interesting. Where does the one on the left lead? Squeezing my hand replies, if I told you that, I would have to kill you. I roll my eyes. Really? You have to choose one, kind of like the Matrix. Do you want the red door or the blue door, Piper? They're both white. He laughs and takes a dangerous step closer. We're almost chest to chest. Definitely not a position we should be in, considering we can only be friends. Besides, I don't know him well enough to even have him invading my personal space. His smile dies as he looks into my eyes. Is he going to kiss me? I can't have my first proper kiss with a virtual stranger. He takes a deep breath. I shouldn't do this. Hazel shouts, come on, Pipes. I take a step back and let my hands drop. Caleb shakes his head slowly. Which door, Piper? Well, I have no interest in being dead, so I'm going for the door on the right. With a breathtaking smile, he nods. Good, come on. His posture changes. He's taller and more animated. You really are proud of this place, aren't you? I tease. He looks at me over his shoulder. You have no idea. Owen, you two in? Owen looks up from where he and Hazel are playing pinball. Sure, I followed Caleb, intrigued by what else they've done here. He punches in a code and opens the door. My baby's crying, I think. She's supposed to be taking a nap. Caleb lets Owen and Hazel go in first, and then turns back to me. Okay? I nod. He holds out his hand again. We probably shouldn't, but I take it anyways, and let him lead me into a really long hallway. Huh? Gazing up at him, I arch An eyebrow. What is this? On each side of the hall are more doors, at least three on each side, and another one at the far end. It's dimly lit. The metal light shades casting circular shadows on the floor. He laughs and let go of my hand. The building used to be offices when my dad ran his business from here. That's that big room we came in, and another one up ahead. Then there's lots of smaller rooms. I turn back to the hallway as Hazel takes a few steps down it. Have you done anything with the rooms yet? I ask. He presses his chest against my back. I freeze as his breath blows against my neck. Why don't you find out? Yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening. I think I'm ready to go back to the other room now, I say as his body moves away from mine. Hazel, come back. I take a step closer to my friend who is padding toward the first door on the left. Behind me, I feel the atmosphere change. It chills me, causing my skin to pebble. Hazel looks past me and her face pales. My back is still to the door, but I hear a loud clang and you know the boys have gone. This isn't funny, Hazel shouts as she spins around. Seeing her panic, I turn and sprint the few steps to the door. There's a handle on this side, but the door's lock is attached to the keypad, and I didn't look when he punched in the code. Caleb, I shout, let us out. Hazel slams into the door and hammers on it with tightly clenched fist. Open the door now, Caleb, I shout louder. You've had your fun, now open up. Pressing my ear to the door, I wait. They must be right there, so why do I feel like I'm shouting to an empty room? I stumble back a step and grab Hazel's wrist. What's going on? I mutter. What's going on is they're dead as soon as I get out of this corridor. Oh God, this is not good. Caleb, please, I shout. Hazel and I jump as bright overhead lights blink on. Caleb's voice rips through a speaker. Piper, Hazel, welcome to the game. Ooh, that's interesting. I was not expecting that. Like, really not expecting that. I'm going to try to read one more chapter. Welcome to the game. Caleb, I scream, panic searing through my veins. Go through the door at the end of the hall, he instructs, his voice cold and tiny through the speakers at the very top of the wall. I shake my head. I don't even know how to say that word. Vehemently? Not happening. Open this door now. Orientation is in the room at the end of the hall, he says, his voice like a recording. But if it is, where is he? Caleb, you've had your fun, now let us out. How do they find this fun? Hazel snaps. My head is dizzy. I slam my hands into the wall to steady myself. I don't like this. I need to leave. Orientation is in the room at the end of the hall. Shut up, I scream. Just shut up and open the door. Hazel slaps her hand over her mouth and sobs. What's going on, Piper? They'll let us out in a minute, I reply. My voice sounds more monotone, even to my own ears. They have to let us out. They can't hold us indefinitely. How long could they keep us? What would they want to keep us here for? The speaker crackles with static. Orientation is in the room at the end of the hall. My voice races, pounding in my chest as if it's trying to escape. Hazel, maybe we just have to play their stupid game. What? I'm not going through there. Well, they're not coming in here, and that might be a way out. I say, pointing toward the door at the end of the hall. She shakes her head. I want to go home right now. I grip her hand, my fingertips tingling. So let's do that. I don't care if we have to walk home when we get out of here. Orientation is at the room of the hall. If I hear that one more freaking time. Let's get this over with, she says, through gritted teeth, her eyes narrowing at the speaker on the wall. If I could reach it, I would rip it down. Okay, I reply, very unsure if this is the right thing to do. I don't know why they are doing this or what they're going to get out of it. But if they think they can laugh it off when we get out of here, they're mistaken. Hazel and I hold hands as we slowly shuffle toward the door. Her breathing is heavy, or mine is. At this point, I don't know. I'm just glad I'm still breathing. The tie of her friendship bracelet brushes against my skin. Neither of us speak as we approach the door. There is no lock on this door. Hazel shakes her head. I can't open it. Her eyes are wet with unshed tears. It's okay, Hayes. I will, I whisper, reaching out. My hand shakes so hard I almost miss as I grip the handle and push down. I change my mind. Hazel says, gripping hold of my wrist to stop me from opening it. What other option do we have? Orientation is in the room at the end of the hall. We both jump as the recording of Caleb's voice plays again. I'm scared, Piper. I am too, but we're in this together, and when we get home, we're never going out again. Nodding, she presses her lips together like she's trying to prevent herself from falling apart. Okay, I'll go first, and we'll be out of here soon. Her grip on my wrist loosens, and I push open the door. We take a step back, afraid that one of them might jump out at us. They don't. The room is dark, the lighting from the corridor offering a glimpse of what's inside. The only thing we can see is the herringbone wood floor. Caleb, I tentatively call out, how could I be so wrong about him? Orientation is in the room at the end of the hall. Oh my God. Okay, we're going in. I shout. Fire ignites in my stomach. We need to get out of here right now. So we can catch up. I think it's like a mystery story. I walk ahead, my desire to get this over with outweighing my fear. Hazel, still holding my hand in a death grip, stumbles inside behind me. Close the door, Piper, Caleb says through speakers. This time his voice is soft and human. Turning on my heel, I grab the edge of the door and slam it shut. Almost instantly, the door makes a clang. My body overheats, it's locked, and we're clothed in darkness. I take a step closer to Hazel, pressing my side against hers. She's trembling, her body causing mine to shake. The loss of my sight makes my other senses run wild. I can smell pain so strong it almost chokes me. I can taste it. Hazel's heavy breathing rattles in my ears. Where are they? She whispers. Shh. Even though I can't see, I close my eyes and listen. The space around us is dead, like there has never been any sign of life in here. Like we're the only ones. Before I can take a full breath, light floods the room. My eyes blink open and I whip my head around. Hazel whimpers as I spin us so our back are to the wall. We can see more from this angle, and no one can sneak up behind us. In the corner is a water cooler. There is another door opposite the one we came in. Kayla's voice rings through the room. Piper, turn the TV on and press play on the remote. Oh my God, this is reminding me of Saul. Don't, Hazel warns. You have to. Get comfortable, Hazel. We're going to want to be sitting for this next part, Caleb says. Laughter feeds through the speakers. My breath catches. Did you hear that? Them laughing at us? Yeah, I heard. I nod because I know that they can hear us, but I definitely heard three voices laughing. Who is the third person? Just do what they say, Hazel. She sits, and I turn on the TV and press play. Retreating back, I forego the spare seat meant for me and huddle next to my friend. The screen flashes to life. Caleb, Owen, and another guy I've never seen before are grinning at the camera. They're sitting behind a long table with their hands placed down on the wood. Welcome, player or players, Caleb says. His eyes darken the way they did after he locked the doors. He almost looks like a different person. What the hell? Hazel whispers. We know you must be wondering what you're doing here, Owen says and chuckles. He steps forward, his fingers spread wide like he's excited. You're here to play. The third guy runs his hands over his face and says, we don't want to give too much away. The games will become crystal clear in due course, but I just want to take the opportunity to wish you luck. Owen's head tilts. Luck? How odd. Caleb nudges him with an elbow. Through the door in the far corner, you will find another room. Grab one bag each from the books. Choose the bag marked with your clothing size. Then go through the next door. You'll know the one. I'm not going anywhere, I mutter. Caleb sits back in his chair. On either side of him, Owen and the guy with no shame stare into the camera and smile. The video ends and cuts to black. Hazel and I look at each other. What do we do? She asks. Shaking my head, I shrug. I don't know what to do or where to go. I have no idea how to get us out of this or even what Caleb really wants. The idea is to scare us, right? Well, he's already done that. How much farther will he take it? And what's on the other side of the door? Hazel stops. We can't stay here. You said this is a test, right? Yeah, I think that. Do you think they're going to let us go back the way we've been if we refuse? Why are you asking me? Do you think I'm the one with all the answers? I snap, surging to my feet. Hazel flinches and drops her chin. Damn it, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to shout at you, but I don't know what to do either. Please proceed through the door on the far wall. Caleb's robotic voice booms through the speakers. I take a breath, close my eyes, and open them again. More composed than before. Clenching my trembling hands, I look at Hazel. Her eyes are wide, confused, and fearful. Out of the two of us, I'm probably the stronger one, the one who will jump right in and take action, but just barely here. Oh, she's leaving it all up to me. This is my fault. If I hadn't started talking to Caleb, we would be at my house right now. Oh God, what are my parents going to do when they find out I'm missing? And Hazel's parents. Please proceed through the door on the far wall. The speaker is above the door we're supposed to walk through. I glare at it, knowing Caleb and his friends are watching. They're probably loving this. Our fear is what they meant. If I had control I wouldn't show them fear. We have to go, Hazel says, standing. She holds onto the arm of the chair to steady herself. Like you said, let's get this over with so we can go home. Right, I reply. I nod, and underneath, I'm petrified. Hazel walks ahead and wraps her hand around the handle. Her knuckles turn white the harder she grips. With a deep breath that whistles past her teeth, she shoves the door open. The next room is a small, more of a hallway. It's painted mint green and brightly lit. Along one side is a row of hooks holding cloth bags with S, M, L, and extra large embroidered on the front. At the opposite end of the room, from us, is the door. Instead of white, like all the others, it's red, but there is a white lily laying on the floor. Hey, my daughter's crying. I gotta go get her. But we are on chapter 6 now. So I'm gonna come back in a little while and we're trying to read 6 through like 10 or something. But this book is supposed to be like a mystery book. The back of the book, I'll read it to you real quick. It says, I feel the atmosphere change. My back is still to the door, but I heard a loud clang. I stumble back a step and grab Hazel's wrist. What's going on? I mutter. Hazel's voice rips to the speaker. Piper, Hazel, welcome to the game. In Piper's hometown, teenagers keep disappearing, and everyone assumes they're just a bunch of runaways. But when yet another person vanishes, Piper and her best friend Hazel suspect something more sinister is going on, so they decide to investigate. Determined to learn the truth, their search for answers leads them to the source of the missing people and their captors. Piper and Hazel suddenly find themselves locked away in a secluded building in the middle of a privately owned forest. But the building isn't only meant to keep them imprisoned. Every room is a test to see if they can make it out alive. And failure means being lost forever. That reminds me of like Saw and Strain. So I go get my baby. I cut my baby girl.